How dare you? Minsc pretends at nothing, half the way or otherwise. Minsc is an open book, with many pretty pictures. We have. Is it not wonderful? There is no need for sweet words between companions such as we. Too often those are the weapons of flatterers and frauds. But she who will beat you about the head with the cold and pointy truth, that is a true Wicklaren. A hero is only as good as the friends they have at their back. This is why Boo favors this spot just above my buttocks. You will grow to like Jaheira's incense in time. Minsc is an open book, with many pretty pictures. Countless tales are told of Boo and Minsc. Many of them are so outlandish that even I do not know if they are true. Did Minsc bravely fend off the seductive vials of a succubus in the cloisters of Candlekeep? Maybe. Did he take a bath in the river Styx and temporarily forget himself? I do not remember. Did he travel with a spawn of the god of murder, who warred against his evil brethren and battled triumphantly at the throne of Baal itself? Of course! It was a splendid adventure. The bards sing of fallen gods and mighty battles, but that is a small part of any saga. They do not sing of the times in between, when Saravak's butt had been kicked so hard that we thought he would never return. We settled in Baldur's Gate for a while. Gorian's Ward, Imoen, Jaheira, Minsc, Boo, and Dinah here. My witch. She hated the city at first. Too busy, she said. Too noisy. Too many people. She complained of the smell. Although she complained of Boo's smell too, and he smells of fresh honey cakes, so Minsc believes her nose was confused. Then, one day, we walked past a shop full of wonders. Tiny magics fizzed in the air, and wizards from every corner of the world bickered and bartered. Sorcery sundries. Dinah here fell in love. Dragged poor Minsc there every day, and made him stand watch while she browsed the shelves. Minsc frowned and complained. He felt more like a babysitter than a berserker. But how Dinah here smiled. Not long after, Minsc and Boo were captured, and Dinah here was dead. I will gladly be a babysitter again to see her smile. That is what I remember. More than any battles against Baal and his spawn. Yes, Boo. I know you miss her too. Boo says the tadpole thrives on her misery. To think dark thoughts is only to feed the darkness. It pleases Minsc more to sour its stomach with good thoughts. Or better yet, not to think at all. With this in mind, Minsc thinks he has gathered enough fluff from gazing at his navel for the moment, no? Oh, a curious question. Are a child and his father always alike? Take Minsc. He does not have a clear memory of the face of his father, but he does remember tugging on the thick, red whiskers that sprang from his chin. A beard for the ages. Boo could have nested there happily through even the harshest of Rashomon winters. Now, look closely at Minsc, and what do you see? Correct! There are more whiskers on Boo's tiny face than on the mighty chin of Minsc. If Minsc did not inherit the flaming red hair of his mother, or the bushy red beard of his father, why would the spawn of Baal inherit his wickedness? I have many more thoughts about beards to share. I did not know you cared to hear them. You hear that, Boo? Your keen skills of observation have not gone unnoticed. Our friend wishes to consult your wisdom. So small is Boo that he is often mistaken for a pinecone, and many secrets are spoken in his hearing. He will tell what he knows, but Minsc, of course, will translate. Boo has said it is unkind to speak behind the backs of some of our companions, and unwise to say certain things to their faces. Ah, the Great Blade of Frontiers! A fine name. Minsc has no idea what it means, but it suits young Will's air of mystery well. It is good to know the city did not go unprotected while I wore pigeon droppings on the wide. Jaheira did her part, of course, but she prefers to scowl from the shadows. The city needs a name, a face, preferably a furry companion, too. Ho ho ho! Minsc would need a title to match. Something to wash away the Stone Lord's stain. The Boot of Backsides, perhaps? Or... Ay, Boo! Evocative, but so crude. I will stick to simple Minsc. Who is Halsin? Oh, the tiny puny elf with leaves in his hair and dirt under his fingernails. His name is Halitosin. How very unfortunate. Ah! Minsc saw the druid chasing himself in circles and sniffing his own butt last night. He has spent too long as a wolf and not enough as a man. No, Boo! The druid did not beat Minsc at the arm wrestling. It was not a fair match, and he turned into an owlbear midway through, and there was grease on the tree stump. Boo is ready with the musings. Minsc knows her people well. The skin of the world is thin up in Rashomon, and it is easier there for things to slip between the planes. Sometimes these are wonders from other worlds. Sometimes warriors, hungry for plunder. Such visitors have inspired a saying among my people. The children of Gith live long and forget the face of death. And so they come to Rashomon to be reminded. They are raiders, so they raid. Minsc's people are berserkers, and so they get a little grumpy at this. It is no bone-deep blood feud, as it is with the Red Wizards of Thay. No, Minsc has no hatred for Githyanki. It is a fine thing to fight against them. And a fine thing to fight beside them too, I think. Besides, the children of Gith alone have witnessed a sight that I have long yearned to behold.
And for a moment, you share in a vision tinged with his awe. Imaginings of the astral sea, an immense horde of wild space hamsters drifting in the endless expanse.
The Githyanki may have Minsc of Rashomon's ire, sometimes healthy servings of his sword, But for this, and this alone, they shall always have his respect. Ah, you come in search of stories. It is not yet time to tuck Boo in for the night, but very well. After our adventurings with the Ballspawn, Boo had had his fill of godly flesh. So, we returned to Baldur's Gate for a time. After all, in every city there is a sweaty underbelly, crying out for a virtuous scrubbing. None better to wield a brush than Minsc and Boo. Perhaps we rubbed some villain's rump a little too raw. This Minsc does not know. One moment we stood in the city slums. The next, ambush! Then Minsc and Boo woke on the wide, with stone dust in sensitive places. The mind of Minsc was occupied with important matters. I was browsing a slum vendor's stall, looking for Boo's favorite nuts. And then, I was stoned. For Minsc, those years passed as quick as a hiccup. It was long ago, then, it is now. I do not like these metal men on the streets, or the villains who hide behind them. But the new world is not so different to the old one. The city still clings to the hill. The sea still stretches on forever. And the stench of evil still makes Boo wish for a tiny peg on his nose. As long as that stench remains, no matter how old or young the world is, Minsc and Boo will not rest.